Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dear students. I hope you are all well. My name is Shubir Ahmad. Today in this video we are discussing coordinate geometry. First of all, we try to understand what is a coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry is the study of geometry using a coordinate system. And principles of algebra and analysis is called coordinate geometry. The study of geometry using a coordinate system and principles of algebra and analysis is called coordinate geometry. The coordinate geometry is a combination of algebra and geometry. René Descartes is known as father of coordinate geometry and also father of modern philosophy. In your previous class, you have learned about the rectangular axes. These axes as two perpendicular straight lines, x prime OX and y prime OY. X prime OX is horizontal axis, is called x-axis. Y prime OY is called vertical axis, is called y-axis. Vertical axis is called y-axis and horizontal axis is called x-axis. Intersecting each other at the point O are called coordinate axes or rectangular axes or Cartesian system or axis. The point O is called the origin. The point O is called the origin for this system. Rectangular axes or coordinate axes helps us to find the position of point in a plane or location of point in a plane. We take here point P in XOY plane. We draw here PM perpendicular to x-axis and PN perpendicular to y-axis. OM here say x units and ON here say y units. The distance of point M from origin is x units and distance of point N from origin is y units. Or we can say point P is away from y-axis is x units and point P is away from x-axis is y units. Coordinate of point P is x comma y. X here OM is equal to x is called abscissa. Or x coordinate. Or we can say distance along x-axis is called the abscissa. Distance along the x-axis from origin is called the abscissa. And distance along y-axis from origin is called ordinate. ON is equal to y is called ordinate or y coordinate. The point P in the plane is expressed in terms of an ordered pair of real numbers. What is the ordered pair? Point P here expressed in terms of ordered pair of real numbers. Here x and y are both real numbers and we use here parentheses. We put both abscissa and ordinate in parentheses. In parentheses abscissa comes in first place and ordinate comes at second place. Remember, here in parenthesis we put abscissa in first place and ordinate in second place. Now point P in plan, in x or y plan, is x units away from y axis and y units away from x axis. So coordinate of point P is x comma y. Here x is abscissa and y is ordinate. Now we draw here another diagram. Here vertical axis is called y-axis and horizontal axis is called x-axis. Intersecting at the point, say O. O is the origin. We put here numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. OX is positive line. OX is positive number line. And OX dash is negative. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 and -6. OY is positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and OY prime is negative -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5. The rectangular axes divide the plan in 4 quadrants. The quadrants are named as first quadrant. XOY plan is called first quadrant. X prime OY is second quadrant. Go anti-clockwise. First quadrant and second quadrant. X prime OY prime is third quadrant. And X OY prime is fourth quadrant. In first quadrant, both abscissa and ordinate, distance along x-axis and distance along y-axis. In first quadrant, both are positive. Abscissa is positive as well as ordinate is positive. In second quadrant, abscissa is negative and ordinate is positive. In third quadrant, both abscissa as well as ordinate are negative. In fourth quadrant, abscissa is positive, ordinate is negative. Here we put here point A here. In first quadrant, we draw a perpendicular to x-axis here AN and perpendicular to y-axis here AM. Here abscissa of point A is 2 here and ordinate of point A is also 2 here. Both are positive. They lie in first quadrant. And we put point B in second quadrant. We draw perpendicular to x-axis and to y-axis here. Abscissa of point B is -4 and ordinate of point B is 3. Coordinate of B in second quadrant is -4 and 3 because in second quadrant abscissa is always negative and ordinate is positive. In third quadrant we put here point C. We draw perpendicular to x-axis and to y-axis. Abscissa of point C here is -3 and ordinate of point C is also -2. In third quadrant both abscissa and ordinate are negative, and in fourth quadrant we put here point D. We draw a perpendicular to x-axis and to y-axis. The abscissa of point D is 4 and the ordinate of point D is -2. In fourth quadrant, ordinate abscissa is always positive and ordinate is negative. The coordinate of origin are 0, 0. The coordinate of origin are 0, 0. We draw here another diagram. X-axis, x prime, y prime, y. Any point lies on x-axis. Any point lies on x-axis, say A. The ordinate of point lies on x-axis is always 0. Abscissa of any point lies on y-axis is also 0. Say we here B. Here abscissa of B is 0 and here ordinate of A is 0. Coordinate of origin are 0, 0. Any point lies on x-axis. The ordinate of that point is 0. Any point lies on y-axis. The abscissa of that point is 0. Now we observe here point A is away from origin here, say x units. X is called the abscissa, the distance along the x-axis. But point A lies on the x-axis. The distance from x-axis of point A is 0. So we can say here ordinate of point A is 0. And point B on y-axis, the distance of point B from origin is y units. And the distance of point B from y-axis is 0 because point B lies on x-axis. The value of abscissa here is 0. The abscissa of point B is 0 and ordinate of point A is 0 here. Here abscissa of point B is 0 and here ordinate of point A is 0. Now we recap the above diagram. Cartesian axes x prime ox and y prime oy divide the plane into 4 parts. The parts are called the quadrants. First quadrant x oy plane is called the first quadrant. X prime oy is called the second quadrant. X prime y prime is called the third quadrant. X y prime is called the fourth quadrant. In first quadrant, both abscissa and ordinate are positive, and in second quadrant, abscissa is negative because abscissa lies on x prime axis. Abscissa is negative here and ordinate is positive. In third quadrant, both abscissa and ordinate are negative. In fourth quadrant, abscissa is positive and ordinate is negative. And the coordinate of origin is a real number 0, or we can say point of O is here 0 comma 0. Point O is here 0 comma 0. In a next video we discuss a distance formula and how to prove distance formula and how to use distance